Well, this is Sunday morning of Memorial Day weekend, and in an effort to avoid the crowds, I figured I should get an early of a start as possible on a little hike. So after parking up in the Santee neighborhood of San Diego, I headed over to Mission Trails Park, which is just about a dozen or so miles northeast of downtown San Diego. And after a fairly good night's sleep, I pulled around to a trailhead, but first I set up to make some breakfast in an effort to get charged up for my hike here today. One of the things I'm missing right now is a cherry pitter. I have to say, cherries are definitely worth the fuss. I could have just parked right here last night. Now I know. Now, Mission Trails is an enormous park with lots and lots of trails to choose from. But I decided to go to Cowles Mountain, and that seems to be one of the more popular destinations in Mission Trails. So since I was going to what could be a crowded spot, I decided to take the Big Rock Trail up to Cowles Mountain because this seemed to be a lesser used trailhead. Stop here to catch my breath, and I can just barely see my van down there, kind of center of the frame. You probably can't see it on camera. And it looks like I have not gone as far as I feel I've gone, because this is pretty steep. When they were saying this is rated as difficult, I think they meant it. At least for me, being out of shape. I just passed a trail runner back here. He had gone by me up the trail, gone down, and then gone back up. And he was saying that he was talking on the phone, complaining about how easy this trail was. He wasn't too happy. It shows that I'm really out of shape. So obviously the attraction to Cowles Mountain here is that it is the highest point in the city of San Diego, which gives you these just sweeping views out to the ocean and of course the city in the distance here. But you also really get a sense up on top of this mountain as to just how large Mission Trails Regional Park is. This is just an impressively massive city park. All right, I know I complained a little bit about that being difficult, but honestly, most of that trail is not difficult. The far majority of that trail is just moderate. There's just a short little section that's maybe could be described as difficult. It's a little steep and it's a little bit slippery in spots. So I guess maybe that's why they call it difficult, but the whole thing is not really difficult. It's a little steep, it's a little slippery, but anybody could do that trail. One thing is for sure, I went up the trail much slower than I walked down the trail. Anyway, back at the van because I need some food. Well, even though I'm hungry, I just took an extra minute to toast this bread because it's sourdough. Sourdough is always better toasted. And then I'm just going to make some, I'm just having a little bit of this lemon hummus. I had to go into a Whole Foods the other day, and I figured I would get some hummus because it's starting to get warmer out, and when it's warmer out, I tend to eat more hummus. Okay, well, with nutrition taken care of, I feel a little bit better, and I should probably get a couple of things done, although I don't want to do them here on the side of the road. I need to switch out my bedding, which is going to be a huge, well, it's always a big, huge fiasco, being that my bed is surrounded on three sides. Not exactly on three sides. I guess when I have the back doors open, that's not exactly enclosed on that side. But anyway, I need to do that, and I would kind of like to check out. There's a campground, and it's just about 2 miles away, and it's closed at the moment, but it's open for day use. I'm hoping that I can get some water there, and if I can get some water there, I will take a shower. Maybe not there, but at least I'll have water so I can set up somewhere and take a shower. Things I got to think about anyway. It's really not as busy as I thought it was going to be up here for a holiday weekend. So the website says this is open for day use only, but it doesn't actually look like it's open at all. I don't think there's anybody in here, and you're not supposed to drive in here. I don't think I'm going to be getting water. So there's very little signage going on here, but after you go by the signs saying not to come in here, there's this little sign. And I know this is a popular trail, so I guess they just have this area open to walk in to get back to the trail, but it's very odd because there's not a lot of information. So it looks as though everything is kind of half open for the trail, and that's it. It's kind of annoying. There's a nice big faucet here, but water's turned off. And there are showers here in the restrooms, but they are closed up as well. The restrooms are partially open. Yeah. I'm not getting water. Oh well. Maybe I'll hike down and see what the trail looks like, at least on this side. Yeah, I guess I can do easy. Half-mile loop. Not sure how to pronounce that. If you know, you can tell me. There are no rangers or anybody around to ask. But I guess I'll just do a little loop. I'm here. So, of course, I knew that there was a lake here at this campground, but it wasn't until I got over to this spot that I realized just how beautiful and peaceful this little campground is. Just an incredibly, incredibly beautiful spot back here. I have made a slight error. Not only did I sit down, but I laid back. Now I don't want to get up. I am so out of shape. My hips, oh my goodness, my hips hurt from that hike down. I probably should have come down a little slower down that hill. It was pretty steep, but too late for that now. So I don't dare take a nap. I may not get up. Okay. This is by far my least favorite thing to do. Okay, I never enjoy making my bed, but obviously it's a great thing to do. Having nice clean sheets, having everything all tucked in is so very nice. So now everything is mostly back together. Hopefully we won't get another cold spell, because if I've got to get my duvet out from underneath there, it takes a bit of time. But anyway, this is about as good as it gets. And now I need food. I've hardly eaten anything, have I? So these are some Thai noodles that I buy at Trader Joe's, and you're supposed to either boil them or microwave them. They come in a little plastic pack, and you know, I think they're mostly cooked or all the way cooked. It's just that they're kind of stuck together because they're in that little plastic pack. And this time I just put them under some hot water. I boiled some hot water on my kettle and then poured some hot water over them and let them sit while I was chopping up and cooking the vegetables. And that seems like it works a lot better than how I have been doing it in the past. I like these noodles. They're cheap and they're actually really tasty. And I think everything is cooked enough. I'm actually not going to cook those tomatoes. They'll get warmed up with everything else here. And I think that's it. Might be better if I threw my food in the pan so I can eat it. Lost a little bit of green onion there, but oh well. All right, there is dinner. Just a quick little noodle and veggie bowl with a little bit of soy sauce. Yeah, that's good for me. Well, this has been quite enjoyable, and I probably got at least a couple of hours of sunshine left. There's one thing I need to do today before the stores close. Extremely, extremely important. Probably should have stayed where I was at. I drive a few miles west. Now it's chilly, and I've got to put a sweater on. This was important because I've been drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee and some McDonald's coffee. I bought these to do a little taste test. One thing I noticed quite quickly is the McDonald's gives me a very bad stomach ache. If I drink more than a few sips of it, I've got a very bad stomach ache. And I've been noticing the Dunkin' kind of does the same thing. Not nearly as bad, but it still gives me a stomach ache, and I just don't even want to drink a whole cup of coffee, which is unusual. So and these are the only two coffees I've got in the van at the moment. So the idea was I was going to test them, do the video, which I did, and then just drink them and use them up like everything else. I don't think I'm going to drink the McDonald's anymore. I think I'm done with it. This could be a whole video on its own, really. It's not going to go to waste. That's probably an odd phrase to say, but I have another use for this. It will go to waste. It's not going to go to waste. I'm not going to be drinking it, but I'm going to use it for something else. And maybe I'll talk about that in the future. I don't know. The Dunkin' I'm going to hold off on right now, but I wanted something that was going to be just insanely good. And this was a coffee by, I think it's pronounced La Colombe. I tried a few weeks ago for the first time. I've never tried any of this company's coffee before. I was blown away at how good this was. This is all sweets. If you look at the description on here, oh, my lighting's not great, but the description of it is caramel toffee brownie. So it's all sweetness, and it is quite amazing. I can't say enough good about this. It's just incredible. Maybe might be a little hard to find though, depending on where you are. Or I knew that it was at this Sprouts, and so I drove out here. Anyway, I just wanted some decent coffee, is all. Again, no hate on the Dunkin'. Dunkin' is fine. It's good. I'll probably finish off the Dunkin' at some point in the future, but not right now. Well, I'm feeling quite good. I've got some really good coffee, and my day is kind of winding down here. So I'm about ready to call it quits. I just thought I would talk about one last thing, something I've been avoiding talking about. And I just wanted to give a thank you to everybody that watches. Watches and likes and comments are incredibly helpful for me, especially right now. And so I really want to thank you. Now, the thing that I've been avoiding talking about specifically is I now have a way that if you want to help me a little bit more than just watching my videos, I know some of you have reached out and asked for ways to help out a little bit more. I've been really reluctant to do anything else in the past, but I now have merchandise for sale. I guess I should call it merch and try to be cool. I'm not cool. So I have merchandise for sale. T-shirts, hoodies, there are some stickers and coffee mugs. And this is the newer design that I have made up. And there's also a second design with a little logo that I had drawn up myself. It has a little silhouette of my van and a coffee mug and my spork. Three things that are kind of important to me. So that's another design that you can get on a t-shirt or a coffee mug or a hoodie. And you can find links to that in the description of each video down below. And depending on what device you're watching this on, you might actually see an advertisement for my products. They might be on the bottom under the video, or they might be on the side of the video, just depending on what device you're watching it, what device you're watching my video on. So if you're watching on a phone or a tablet or a computer, if you're watching on a TV, you're not going to see any of those things. You'll have to go dive down for them. But it's come from a company called Spring. They used to be called Teespring. They've rebranded a little bit, but if you want to help out, the merch is there, and hopefully people don't look at this as me begging. Look, I'm just asking that if you want to help out a little more and you need a t-shirt or a mug, I hope that you choose one of mine. And please don't go out of your way to buy stuff from me if you don't need it. If you don't need a t-shirt, you don't need a mug, you don't need a hoodie, then please don't even look at it. It's just there to help me, and if you need something as well. Now, the next step is, if you really want to help, really want to help, I do have a Patreon, and that is a commitment that you would give me a little bit of money every month. And that's something I really don't want to push. Several of you have found it and have signed up for Patreon. And I can't tell you how much that helps. Those of you who have signed up and have pledged money every month to me, that really helps me more than I can say. I'm going to start traveling a little bit more, and so that will especially help me with that. Gas is really expensive here at the moment. I know you know that too. So I know you're paying for gas for yourself. You're trying to keep up, and so I'm not here asking for donations. I'm not here asking for anything more than the people that really just want to help and keep me going. I will say that as far as the Patreon goes, I've got several people on Patreon, and they are the ones that are really pushing me to keep making videos. There's been some time where I have just not wanted to make a video. I haven't wanted to look at myself in the camera. I haven't wanted to look at myself edit. And it's really just because of the Patreon people. They have kept me going. So if you're one of those Patreon people, I really do appreciate you. And I'm sure everybody else does too, at least the people that like watching my videos. So there that is. I've neglected talking about this for a long time because I really don't want to talk about it. I really just want people to watch my videos. That's my goal. If I can get my views up a little bit, that would be helpful. And anybody that does help me a little bit more by buying a t-shirt or by signing up to Patreon obviously kind of fills in the gaps there. So I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot more in the future, but I need to at least bring it up at some point. So there it is. And yeah, so the day's wound down here. And I'm about ready to turn in. That was quite a little hike I did earlier, and so I'm kind of feeling it in my legs and in my hips. So I think at this point I need to have a nice long sleep and probably a snack too. I'm still hungry. So I think I'll call it quits here today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it.